With winter fast approaching, Freiburg faces danger from many corners. Freiburg's defenses are still in the planning stages, army unraised and untrained, and the specter of starvation looms over the city's swelling population. Rosa Nix has been offered patronage by the Queen of the Unseelie Court. Acceptance will transform her and remove her Lorenzo heritage and the influence of Mad Queen Marietta. Arthur Wolfe has taken an oath to be the Ruck of Logan Seeger, the Iron Prince of Freiburg. A foray into Bryn Brassail, the lands of the Fae, was cut short and has not been seen since. Gav the Grin has offered a proposal to one Hannelore Erhoff. The joyous moment was followed shortly by discovery that he was to be not only a husband, but a father of twins. Len Kostin has sheltered Kathrinia Fischler Dmitritova, the widow of Gaius Ilya and the Matushka-appointed successor to the throne of Usura. Posen moves to intercept the army of General Montague, but Len and Kathrinia move to warn the general of imminent danger.
Honorine Rosemarie Tiffaine Seiss-du-Seiss struggles to create a safe harbor for members of the Seiss-du-Seiss family. Her aunt's position in court grows more tenuous with each day, while Honorine's cousin Charlotte seems blissfully unaware of the dangers. Hans Ulrich has been returned his memories by the Skottenmund. Hans has discovered he was a Reifenstall, former Imperators of Eisen. He rides, with more company than he expected, to free his sister from Hilgrin's treacherous ghosts.
Runa Ingvild's daughter returns from Bryn Brassail with treasures of the Revenge and a last moment with Red. She is burdened with more questions than answers about the runes, Valhalla, and her mother. Above all lingers one question. What is Herja planning?
Mississippi, 5, 6, Mississippi, 7, 9, Mississippi, 10, and 1, and 2, and 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Chaos. Ha-cha-cha.
I read Bison Ruth Kevin, so I fucking said
it. So we have 3 birthdays this week, so we're actually just opening just to acknowledge that real quick. First, we have Bison, who plays Gav the Grin. We're going to be doing introductions in just a bit. We also have introductions. We also have Ruth, who plays Runa, and last but not least, we have Kevin, who does not play in this game, but he's the channel father. So
it's always in our heart.
He's always in our heart, and we wanted to make sure that he got a shout out for his birthday as well. So everybody in chat, if somebody wants to clip that monstrosity for make sure that it goes down for posterity, thank you very much, and thank you very much for still being here after that. So
the retention graph is going to be crazy.
All right, so we don't open in Freiburg today. Instead, we are many miles from it, and we are in a place full of colors that seem too bright and sharp to be real at times. The greens of Innismore, the blues of the waters, the whites and like pastel colors of sky and sunset, um, and a young child, Arthur Wolf, that is in the Fey realms of Bryn Brasail. A place where he is perpetually a child, perpetually a boy who loves his mother, a boy who loves to play and run around. But now he is also a boy who has strange dreams for the first time and nightmares of another life. Nightmares where he is old and he has spent his life fighting and spying and seeing the world. Um, Nightmares that his mother hates him having. Um, and he's, he being a young child, he spent the last days, weeks, years, it's always hard to tell, like creeping around and hearing her as she talks to other members of her family, her court, the people that come and go from the castle on a hill where he lives with his mother, talking about um, that it is past time, that they need to correct the problem. Um, he's heard her whisper, more than once to her sister when she visits, about how Jack has ruined him. And there is familiarity to the stream that he is brought to. He has a memory of like having been here before and having seen a man drown or not drown or be partially dipped within it. And he doesn't quite remember whether it's just a story that he heard, a story that he was told, or whether he witnessed it himself. But he does remember seeing others that have been put into these waters and the way that they emerge sort of placid and calm and without any of the sort of boyish joy that he has, but also without any of the like rage or anger that has so like angered his mother since he came back home. And it's early in the morning. The lands of Bryn Basail seem to always be caught between dusk and dawn. The sun is always rising. The sun is always setting. It's always painting the sky in like vivid colors. There's never just sort of like a midday, and it's never ever night. Like there are times where it's like the sun is just set and he goes to sleep, but he has no memories of being in Bryn Basail during the nighttime. And it's early morning as a procession, a courtly gathering, including his mother and his auntie, are here and beginning to lead the way up the hills to the river that he knows is going to be his redemption and his forgiveness and him becoming who he's supposed to be for his mother, but also something he dreads deep down. Tell me where he's at.
At the moment, Arthur is really just trying to figure out at the same time, while he's going to that river, like you said, why is he so concerned with pleasing his mom? And he's trying to kind of work out some of that mental gymnastics, some of that tangled mess of these pseudo dream, pseudo memory, pseudo somethings that Arthur is experiencing and trying to just get a hold of it. At one point he stops walking towards the river and just kind of stands there, confused. just barefoot, with almost as because he's a young child, he's in this kind of almost sort of the best way I could put it is like fey overalls that
Yeah,
have been
I
rolled
think
up to just below
definitely.
his knees.
Yeah, there's like almost no attempt to try to like make him fluid and graceful as the other members of the court are. Does that make sense? Like they sort of they have him be, childish in short pants and, you know, running around shirtless through the wilderness if that's what he wants to do.
Yes, but only
Um,
if that's what he wants to do. They're not perverts.
uh, it's and there's something, is he's kind of like, of course, like the water as it cascades down like the side of the hill, it's like throwing rainbows into the air. Um, it's pristine and perfect, and yet it is still like deeply troublesome.
It feels
Um,
almost artificial at this point,
it,
like
it
how nice and
doesn't.
everything looks.
There was there's a part of him that knows what the taste of blood in his mouth is like. There's a part of him that knows pain in a way he never did before. Um, and there's a part of him that can remember a beautiful redheaded woman, and a woman that he remembers kissing, a woman that, like, to the child is like far too old, but it still
Ew,
resonates
cooties.
deeply within him that like there's like that side that's absolutely like, oh, cooties, girls, gross, but like there's another that is like knows that it was a deeply moving thing, that it was somebody that he lost. um and that like the part of his mind that is resisting that almost feels like not as. Does that make sense? As if there was like an Arthur and a child Arthur, and at times when he like looks into the mirror, or when he looks not into mirrors but into water, he can see a face not his own, a face that's taken too many hits to the head, a face that's like is impossible for this place because it's imperfect. And right now, he's once again a perfect child, um, and the um, the two women that are here, both of them wear crowns. Um, he understands them to be co-queens, but that's like a different adult thing that he doesn't need to concern himself with. And he's hauled forward to the spring, and he looks up and he can see the woman that is hauling him. She wears like a long green cloak. Her face is familiar. Um, Something about her makes him just want to like bite her. Like,
He
where
does.
he can't run, and she just kind of like she snaps her hand back, and there's a like he can taste blood, and her blood tastes real. Like when he's bit his own lip to just try to like the blood that he tastes on himself doesn't taste right. Does that make sense? But hers tastes real. And she kind of steps back, and um the queen kind of the queen, his mother, gestures, and she's like, grab him, and two of the others that are nearby like grab him by the shoulders. um and there's an immediate sort of like soothing sense of calm and placidity that he feels like from their touch, and one of the women like looks down at him and is like, calm now, calm. But the woman in the green cloak kind of she stares at him, and she stares at the necklace that's still around his neck. um and uh the uh, the queen, one of the queens, the anti-queen, looks to the mother queen. She says, he's going to try to stop this. um and his mother says that is the point. We are ready. um
Who's trying to stop what? Hello?
And and mother steps forward and just kind of puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "It's nothing. It's fine." Um,
The words and actions you are doing do not seem to line up.
and
This
she just
seems to
kind
be
of
a complicated set of thoughts that is too big for my brain.
she smiles and her teeth are gritted as she is smiling. She says, "Don't worry. Everything about you is going to line up soon."
But see, no, that's not lining up there. That's the thing. You're chewing your smile.
Um,
I don't know the word.
she smiles and she strokes his hair and she says, "I will have my darling boy back soon."
Where am I now?
Um, and she just nods to the two women that have him by the shoulder, and they start to like continue to like move him up the hill. And with every step, like the necklace around his neck feels heavier. The coin feels almost like it's like burning against his throat. Um, and uh, the the women that are with him, the women that seem different and real as compared to like the queens that are like ahead of the procession, they're carefully like shepherding, they're kind of encircling so as to make sure that like he has no way out, like expecting him to run, expecting him to make a break for it. um and even through the sort of like enforced placidity and calm, there is a very real sense of danger. It's the water like bubbles along absolutely perfectly. It's, every like turn through the rock sounds like music. It seems like it should be something that makes him happier than anything in the world, and yet it's sort of terrifying.
Nope. I'm out. No, this is fine. Thank you, strange people I don't recognize. And mom, no.
Um, and she comes towards him, and there's every step is danger. Every step is like making all of the parts of him that are human, that have like been beaten and punched and kicked and made love to, and you know everything good and bad, is reeling from knowing, from like every step that she takes towards him.
The second
Uh,
she's close enough, this is Arthur's entire plan, is to punch her very hard in the knee and then run the opposite direction.
um, Go ahead and take a drama die.
Take a drama die. Okay.
Yeah, you have an extra
Fantastic.
one.
I will mark myself at 4.
Kick him in the shins and run.
And the punch connects. There's something about this place that like story has a greater power than skill. Does that make sense? And so even though like part of you probably knows like better ways to punch people in more effective ways, and like that was the perfect childlike method of resistance. And it's, for a moment her face seems to crack, like a mirror cracks, like with literal splinters like going across her features. And then
Gross.
it just instantly reforms into like perfection again. um and then a bolt thuds into her shoulder. um and she just looks irritable as she like reaches and pulls it out, and you can see that there is no, um there's like a head to it. Everything looks normal about it, but also you understand that like it poses no harm to her. It poses a lot of harm to one of the women in the crowd, who takes another bolt like directly in the chest and goes down with a cry. And like Arthur sees literal lifeblood of somebody like flowing out of them. He sees pain, he sees death, and yet the realm almost seems to try to like reach and cover it up. Like that isn't supposed to happen here. That isn't supposed to look that way. And other bolts begin to fly like out of the woods, and one of and Anti-Queen, she turns and like a blade of pure light appears in her hand, um, and there's a smirk on her face as she calls out. She says, "Jack, you have overstepped yourself."
Oh, Uncle Jack! Oh, things are beginning to make more sense.
And the woman that's on the ground, the woman that is like dying, it's compelling to watch, even as like there are bolts kind of like flying all around, and like other women are injured, and they're like beginning to fight. Like you're in the middle of an ambush, of which you're sort of like the main event of said ambush, but somehow death and mortality and fragility is what draws Arthur's gaze through all of it. And he sees the woman looking at him, and then suddenly the woman in the green cloak grabs his shoulder again and be like, "That's not Jack, he's here." And the woman who took the bolt in the chest simply throws the cloak off, and Mad Jack is where she was. And he grips Arthur's shoulder as more bolts come down, like from the invisible attacker. And Jack hefts him up, and he kisses Arthur on the cheek. He says, "I love you, boyo." And then he just hurls him through the air, like up and over the Fae, up and over like the attacking rounds. And Jack comes down right next to a figure who's surrounded by like a half dozen others who are all like wearing cloaks, who all have crossbows in hands, as the Queen of the Fae comes up and over the hill with her blade of light in hand. And she is now a queen of wrath and terror. He sees her as the people who are here see her, which is a figure of death and of destruction that's coming for them. It's, you know, the other side of the Fae that he's always known. She's still just as beautiful, but now it's in a terrifying way. It's
Spooky.
And the leader of the people in the cloaks grabs Arthur and begins to like haul ass, running with him. There's the sounds of like battle from behind him. There's the sounds of he can hear the battle cries of Mad Jack, but he's surrounded by Fae, and he's fighting to give them a chance to escape.
This is all very overwhelming and very overstimulating for me. I just want you to know, I think you're doing a great job, person who I'm thrown over the shoulder of. I just pat the back.
The man kind of, he smiles, and he turns to look at Arthur, and he's got a face that like would never belong here, because it's old. It's like white haired and wrinkled and craggy, and he's missing an eye, and there's like a patch that covers it. And he also sort of, as Arthur looks at him, he can see like a dozen men with him, that he realizes that all of the men that have accompanied this man are versions of him.
Do I lose an eye when I get older? This feels like a thing that, are you me?
He just laughs.
Like, should I get an eye patch?
Is he like actually lifting the eye patch?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there's like a hollow where the eye should have been, where it looks like it was carved out by blade.
How do you keep it from getting too wet in there?
He says, "I try not to think about it too much." And he has a intense Vestan accent. But he's smiling now, and there's something about the sort of like humor of it, the childish antics in the middle of being chased by this terrible creature, that makes her terror diminish a little bit. Does that make sense? And puts her a little bit further away. And he bounds down the hill. He like flees and jumps onto a boat, and every time the queen's blade flashes, it cuts down another version of himself. Does that make sense? They just sort of like dissipate into spiritual matter. And then as he hops onto the boat and he sets Arthur down, the moment they push away from the shore, um, Arthur sees the child of himself standing on the shore and looks down, and like he's himself again. And he can still hear Jack fighting.
Be that back there again. That was terrible. Are you a version of me? I'm still very confused with that entire thing.
He shakes his head. He says,
good to know.
I'm doing a favor for an old friend.
Ah, I'm not the old friend, am I?
He thumbs behind him.
Oh, thank gods. Thank the gods.
He says, I don't come back from the dead when I die. He says, but every memory I have goes to another, the next in my line.
That sounds unpleasant. I am sorry you have to
Friends
deal
who
with
remember
that.
you over the decades and centuries, they mean a lot.
Yes, that they do.
And he continues to push it. Like the island is receding rapidly. He's not even like rowing. Does that make sense? It's like he's pushing with, I forget the sticks they use like when they're navigating rivers over oceans.
Oh yeah, it's almost more like it's like the idea of rowing rather than the actual act of rowing.
It's more like in shallow waters how it's more efficient to just kind of push off the bottom. Does that make sense? Than to actually row. But the water is deep enough and it goes utterly still, and like glass still, so that when the boat is cutting through it, you can see it sort of rippling out in all directions. And he looks up, and the moon and the sun are both overhead at the same time. And the water is so pure and clean, it looks like you can look all the way down to the ocean floor.
Would you mind telling me exactly how I ended up in this sort of situation?
I wish I knew that, he says. Jack told me that your mother had gotten a hold of you again.
Yeah, that's never a very pleasant thing.
And he explained, he says, your mother was one of the 3 queens of the Fae. Then he asked me to go to that realm to get you out, and I told him that he was a madman. And then
I mean, that's Jack
he
for
always
you.
does, and he convinced me to do something insane.
Good love, Uncle Jack.
So needless to say, I won't be coming back to, well,
Oh no, they wouldn't want you
Avalon
back
anytime soon.
No, that's a smart choice. And I should probably also get out of Avalon.
We're gone now. We're out of Avalon, out of Bryn Brasil. Says problem is now we're in the mirror.
Right. How does one get out of this as easily? Or in a
Rex said that I
expeditious?
would find a way.
Oh, fantastic. Well, if you don't mind, and you don't have any plans of your own, let me give it a little bit of a shot. Arthur just kind of holds the coin in his hand, just kind of nice and flat, trying to feel where it feels, like which direction it feels the heaviest. Like how you would on a, almost like he's treating it like a compass. Trying to work out from just that little shift in weight, which direction is the best way to scull. And yes, I am dowsing, but I'm trying to douse for underground water, not water that's already there and visible.
How many dromedites do you have at present?
4.
Okay. So I'm just gonna have you roll 4 keep 4.
Okay. That gives me 16. A fairly average roll.
Um,
A little above average,
it's
actually.
the coin just seems to be like the problem isn't weight. The problem is that the coin's temperature seems to be in flux constantly. It seems to be cold and hot, then cold and hot, and like extremes to like where one moment it feels like it's burning and the next it feels the same, but like you're not in motion at the moment. Um, and the man with the one eye, um, he he kind of fishes into like a very tattered cloak, and he pulls out. He says, "Jack did give me this," and he holds up a like a crystal. It's just like a small little one, like you could find in a cave. It doesn't exactly like hum with magic or anything like that.
And if I had to take a guess, that would probably be the thing that would actually get us out of this. Jack has a lovely habit of handing you just the thing you need for just the wrong time, but that will make use later. He calls it foreshadowing. I don't quite understand that term, but you know.
He, yeah, I have a story about a bucket for you sometime. Which
Perfect.
sounds
Sounds
exactly
great.
like Jack. um, he he pulls his cloak back and takes the whole of it off, and he kind of rubs at the eye patch for a little bit. And he's like, "Let me just see if there's something I can do." He sits down and he
Yeah.
crosses his legs.
Also, sorry about the whole looking in your eye patch thing. As an adult now, I can see that was a little inappropriate.
He says, I think the moment needed a little inappropriate because the appropriate thing to do in that moment would have been to die.
Ah, good. Well, if you want some more inappropriate, I've got some terrific jokes.
I need quiet, actually. And he dips his head, and there's a definitely like a sense of like magic that sort of surrounds him. And as it continues, there's like an intensification to it. Um, and for a moment, as Arthur is kind of watching, he sees like a hint of movement, like a shadow of something in the water. And when he looks over the side, what he can see is a thing that looks like a dragon, like as in the stories, kind of a dragon, one that is larger than the bridge in Freiburg. Have you seen where the dragon is on that map? Like, this is the remains of a dragon. This one skeleton that extends like across multiple neighborhoods.
That dragon. Okay.
Yeah. Like, that is huge. The thing that moves under the water dwarfs it. It looks like if it were still for long enough, the backs of it could be islands.
Like several whales if you were to tie them together.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
That's also Arthur's mind, not my mind. My mind is
and
different.
and there is no, not a single bit of motion in the water above it. Like the perfect glass-like nature of the water is never disturbed by it moving by. And he kind of stops and he opens his eyes. He says, "Might not be a good idea to call upon magic here." Um,
Well, I understand your fear and concern, but at the same time, it feels like the best course of action is likely to be the most dangerous one. The only time we can say that one plan really is terrible It's when we really have other plans that we have as options.
Uh,
There's no point fretting about the odds unless you have other odds you can be betting on.
I think we may want to look to see if we can come up with any other ideas before I try that again, though.
This is a
Scared and
question.
magic.
Sorry. The giant pseudo dragon thing that we saw. Arthur has a big tattoo of a snake, sort of thing, on his arm. Do they bear any resemblance to each other?
No.
Cool.
I think because Arthur's was something that he chose to do for himself, right? Like it was just something that came from his imagination.
Yeah, probably.
This is like a very specific winged thing. And had a malevolence. I mean, it would be a killer tattoo, but it is also not like what he's done. Does that make sense? He has not seen it before in dreams or anything like that.
The best way to get out of the mirror. There's no chance of anyone actually looking for us on the other side of the mirror to try to. There's no chance of a rescue operation. That's why.
He says, I suppose it's possible. He says, hey, Jack said that you might be the only one. Or Jack said that nobody knew that you were missing, but I don't know how long that can be true for.
I did make some friends.
Says the mirror is one of the 7 seas, the last sea, and to my understanding, it connects to every other sea. But the trick is getting back out. I've heard stories that one sails over the horizon. It would be easier if we had sails.
It'd be easier if we had a horizon.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
or at
there's
least
like
something
line,
distinct.
but it is like, like the sky and the clouds and the water just sort of look like they're all one thing.
Yeah.
Um, he
Could we try to hitch a ride on the thing that actually swam underneath us then?
says that dragon,
Yeah.
I wouldn't advise it.
Of course we wouldn't advise it, but could we do it?
He says, to my knowledge, the source of magic, of all Skaerjin, of all Vestin, came from a dragon that was destroyed and dismantled for the raw substance of power of the very universe itself.
Then your magic probably isn't a good idea for that.
Says my magic is stolen from that.
Exactly. That's. I don't have any magic, do I? I look at him.
He
Like,
says,
I mean, I've been there for a while, and I don't think any of it's going to be rubbing off on me. But just.
He says, Jack said that what they were trying to do was rebirth you. He says to put you in a call of glamour and have you born again as a proper servant of the Fae.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I left. Well, actually, that's not the reason I left. It's the reason I didn't come back. We are in a predicament.
He nods.
This is Arthur thinking and considering to himself. There's no wisp of anything that might have been left from the Fey realm.
I mean, he there's always been some part of the Fey realm that he probably takes with him in one way or another. It's just part of who he is now. But as far as like a wisp of something that he could take or manipulate or control, he can't feel that. But I'm going to like drop the curtain here. We're going to do our introductions, and we're going to like cut to another thing.
Okay.
And the reasons will be clear soon.
Okay, I would like to say one last thing as we're considering things. Have you thought about using me as a bait for fishing? Just tie a rope to me and throw me out the water, and then we cut the curtain there.
Yeah, and he just very practically like holds up the pole that he has. He says, "No rope." That's what we'll roll. Okay, so let me do the thing. I had it open, then I closed it because of the map. All right, thank you everyone, and welcome to the Shadow of the Wachtturm. Our producer tonight is one of the moderators of Dirty 20 Gaming, the delightful and compassionate Gloriosa. Our lore master of the series is the beautiful and benevolent Syndra. Before we get started, I want to give a content warning. While the spirit of 7th Sea is swashbuckling adventure and shadowy intrigue, the story will deal with mature themes, including death, loss, suicide, and grief. Eisen, our setting, is recovering from a 30-year civil war over religious differences. It may get dark sometime, and there's no shame in bowing out if it's not a place your head can go at the moment. So without further ado, we're going to have our savvy swashbucklers introduce themselves, starting with Arthur Wolf.
Hello, I am the Scarred Adventurer. Tonight I am playing Arthur Wolf on our wonderful 7th Sea adventure, The Completely and Totally Confused Drunken Innismore. Well, he would be drunk, if he could, or had the option to be. Maybe he'll try drinking some salt water and see if that can make him loopy. Anyways, when I'm not here, you'll find me Tuesday playing Red Death, our wonderful overkill incarnate of our Carnage Heights game.
Oh, excuse me.
On Wednesdays, alternate Wednesdays, coming back as soon as we can, you will find me running our wonderful Oracle Force game played by Masks A New Generation. It's a ton of fun. I hope you come to see us. And I look forward to coming back as soon as we can. It's just, life and things get in the way. I have so many ideas. Thursdays, you will find me. Oh, sorry. Tuesdays, Thursdays, days, Thursdays, you will find me as Noel Harper being literally Satan and ruining things sometimes, because I do. It's fun. Otherwise, you'll find me working with the wonderful Tangor Productions to bring stuff and or things to the future eventually. Not to mention the fact that I'm also in a fun thing called Real DM's Roll D20s, which will be coming out, I believe, sometime next year. There's no pressure on any of that for either. Run by another wonderful member of our community, Rock Paper Fox. With that, I think I've said everything, unless someone can point out to me and go, "You've missed something." But with that, I'm going to quickly throw it over to Bison, our Gav Powerballing Potential Iron Prince.
Yeah, that's me. Hi. Yeah, my Zoom name is a spoiler for Scarred. Excuse me. I am Bison_Stonefist. I am a regular on this channel. I am here 4 nights a week. Tonight I am playing Gav the Grin, our man of many titles and lover of alliteration. That's mostly my fault. On tonight's game on Tuesdays, I run the Cyberpunk Red campaign. We are basically in the second half of our boss fight. We will finish that when we can. There's been some health issues, and I'm not going to run this game without a full crew. So we are just about finishing that one up. I'm going to be in a new game on Mondays in the new year. That is going to be run by the lovely Kevin. Gotta stop reading chat. Yes, the devil. Yeah, that's Tuesdays. On Thursdays, I I play Garrett Sakes, our resident emo kid before it was emo. Maybe it's after it's emo. I don't know. Timey-wimey bullshit's happening. So I don't know what year it is, which actually isn't that much different from the usual. Yeah, that's Deviant Paradox. That's a fun game. That is using the City of Mists roughly. It will say City of Mists-ish. System, and on Saturdays I am part of the Iron Sworn Starforged campaign. Starsworn, that's my fault. City of Mish. That is sorry. I play as our Starsworn campaign. I play our Ursat's captain, Calvin Scooter Hobbs,
Big
lovely refer
Scoots.
lovely referred to as Big Scoots. Uh,
Scoots!
it's 4 players, 4 GMs. We're all the same people, and none of us know where the story is going, so it's an absolute riot. We play that one when we can. That's on Saturdays, and that's me. Let's go to honoring.
Hi, everybody. I'm Blaze of Gloriosa, better known around here as Glory. I haunt the Discord probably more than I should. Not only do I stream on my own channel, I'm here producing on alternate Wednesdays for Oracle Force, which hopefully should be coming back this Wednesday. We hope. On Thursdays for Deviant Paradox, and I'm here for on Fridays for our Shadowrun-ish Gibsonian adventure, as Echo, who is our technomancing fashion plate. Tonight I'm here as our resident noble honoring. And what I wrote was that she's apparently babysitting her big sister before she shoves things where they're not supposed to go. And then I read it out loud. And that's just where we are in this game with me and my phrasing. Let's go talk to Rosa. Why would you throw it to me right now? Exactly
I
for
think that's
that
pretty
voice.
obvious.
Exactly for that voice.
I'm gonna have to pull my mic closer so that y'all can
When
hear
she
me.
pulls out the Mickey voice, it's just the best.
Do you really want me to pull out the Mickey voice?
No, it's just the accidental Mickey voice. I should have
really don't want us to
specified
get sued.
because we have multiple Mickey voices.
I mean, I can do the Mickey voice. Hey, y'all, my name
That's
is
been Dirty
Sarah.
20, folks. I'm so sorry.
I can't even get through my fucking intro. My name is Sarah. I go always hands on the Discord. I am on this channel currently 3.5 nights a week. It is going back up in the new year. I'm here tonight as Rosa Nix. How do I fix the shit that it's my fault? On Tuesday, I am Hecate / Magic, Brokenhearted. I need to change that actually. On our Cyberpunk Red Carnage Heights game, on our Wednesday game Mask, Oracle Force, I play Nightwish. Somehow I'm still the leader of this group. And Thursday, I am the DM for the Chaos Incarnate game, Deviant Paradox, our City of Mist-ish campaign.
You say that with such resignation.
It's true. For y'all, it's Chaos Incarnate. For me, everything's making complete sense. Other than that, you can find me over on Phoenix Tears Productions playing Big Bad Wolf. I'm finally getting back into that game. And over on Tango Productions, working with the Scarred Adventurer and Rock Paper Fox on Stuff and Things that'll come out eventually. I think that's everything. Let's give it over to... Has Len gone? Over to Len.
Hi, folks. It's me, your friendly neighborhood Bat Kyle. you can find me here on Sundays. You found me. Playing everybody's favorite Rizzler and Man Bear Pig, Len Costin. You can find me otherwise in the Discord, posting unhinged food memes if my wife doesn't beat me to it, and generally being a menace. And you can find me in the chats of pretty much every aforementioned game, also being a menace and doing my best to break anybody who's unwise enough to look at chat. Besides that, you can't really find me anywhere else because I don't want to. Social media sucks. Over to Runa, who just injured herself somehow.
I cracked my neck and it was not good.
Oh,
It hurt real bad. Hi, I'm Ruth. You found me. I am here today, Sunday, as Runa, looking for her mom, and the woman who acted like her mom while her mom was being a captain. She knows how to get to one of them, but unfortunately it's through a woman she wants to kill. Doing them in order from the day that I'm in. It always messes me up for some reason. On Tuesdays, I'm here as Exit. You guys think you're being edged. She's about to square down with Mom and Dad. And hope that she wins. I'm also here on alternate Wednesdays as Trek. I didn't mean to try to kill you. I promise. And I am here on Thursdays as Miss Sass, Nora Avalon. And that's about all from me. I'm gonna pass it over to Hans.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rory. I'm Plan. Wonderful, so many goddamn nicknames. Everyone's favorite, Mr. Leg Day Soldier Boy.
You.
Hans Reifenstahl tonight. I'm also one of the players in our Masks: A New Generation campaign, Oracle Force, run by the Scarred Adventurer, and yeah, I play Daddy Issues Incarnate Graviton. They're a fun character, and I don't know, maybe something will get resolved in the next couple of sessions. Who knows? We shall see. Stay tuned for when we come back. It's sick as hell. And outside of that, busy as ever. Things are happening in the background. I don't know. Announce stuff later. Now it's time to play the game.
Before we do anything else, I just wanted to give a shout out to our background on the on Twitch, because it was just prescient as hell with the opening that ended up in the mirror. So shout out to our producer for that. All right, I'm gonna dive right in because we're still kind of in the middle of a lot of stuff, but we're not. So we had gotten Hans and Runa caught up with what had happened in the adventure that they were gone, and I think the intention had been that they were going to be heading back to the room at like the first opportunity, because Hans and Runa had not yet seen it. But there was also still a conversation that needed to be had with Logan and with Miss Tall Blonde and Nibelung.
A conversation, huh?
Big lady.
Because there is like all of the Draconizing still, and she had said that she was going to be reporting it. There is the ongoing question of what happens when there's Draconizing but no Imperator. So
I got super confused. You said tall, blonde, and nipply, right?
Nibelung.
Just so you know, Honorine literally elbowed her own sister out of the way to get close to Tall Blonde and Nibelung. Just FYI. In case you were thinking of anything.
we decided that Tall Blonde at Nibelung was played by Gwendolyn Christie, so Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones. So, all right. So what is the order that y'all would like to do things? There's the room itself. There's speaking to the Nibelung. You all can take a vote, like, and who's going to be going to do what. Logan obviously, deserves an update, but Strauss, after the last meeting, the council was the only ones that were at that. Logan and the Nibelung were not. So,
And we've already gone into. We all wore the cloak, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There was one last piece of that when I was describing everything that I forgot to add into the description, so I wanted to do that now.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
And so I think Gav was the only one that had like a relatively ordinary experience there, right?
Runa kind of just
Runa's
located more
Yeah.
ruins on a location.
And I think Hans was also relatively so
tame by
because
comparison.
Well, Len was like shape-shifting of his own accord. Rose's magic was going crazy, and so was Honoриne's. So I'm gonna have this be like a D6 roll as to who saw this thing. 1 to 2 is Hans, 3 to 4 is Runa, and 5 to 6 is Gab. So okay.
Oh, fun. Great.
So this is kind of perfect since you were actually the last one in, right? With Strauss, right? The moment as you're kind of like about to take the cloak off, something sort of like draws his gaze upwards. He's seen, like this place feels sort of familiar in a way because of he's assuming because of his connection to the Shadow Man. But as he looks up at the canopy of the sky, which looks almost like perfect smooth glass, he sees something just suddenly sort of like thump and press against it. Was he in the basement with Runa with the eye appearing?
Yeah.
No, she was by herself.
He went down to the basement after.
But Runa was
so
by
you were
herself.
So what he sees is like the thing that surrounds the eye itself looks just dark, shadowy, tentacled possibly, and it stretches over easily a quarter of the sky with just one massive eye, and that seems to like glow from within and seems to study the city for a moment before it just pushes off and there's blackness again. And Strauss he is absolutely stone quiet while it's there, and as it pushes away, he says, "Strangers are not the worst thing that can come through."
He just gives Strauss this look of what the absolute fuck was that, and just quickly throws the hood off.
Yeah, and
he's out of there.
Strauss is there when he. So, and after that, he says, "The others that were with you down below, they will need some answers. Put as much of their trust in you as they can, and understand that our secrets need to remain our secrets."
Yeah, of course.
We have been compromised before, and if this order ceases to exist, I fear for the fate of the entire world.
I fear more and more for that every passing day. Yeah, your secrets are secure with us. Don't worry.
So, he just touches Hans on the shoulder and then he turns to go. So, so now the question is, who are they going to see? And then I'm assuming the last thing they're going to be doing is heading down to the actual area itself, because I'm just guessing that Runa does not want to put that off any longer than she has to, right? Okay.
No, she is trying to get her mom. I don't know what to tell you. And no one's letting her get grist, so she's restless. No one's letting her talk to Charlotte. So she needs Charlotte to get her to grist, and then Charlotte can die by her own hands or someone else. So yeah, she's restless.
Len will actually volunteer to take them down to show them the gate, and before he does, just kind of nudge Rosa and just be like, you should probably spend some time with your sister. Don't get me wrong, I loved all the time that you give to me all the time, but at the same time, I feel like we've spent a lot of time together and you haven't spent a lot of time with your family. And maybe you have things to talk about that you don't need me around for.
Yeah, I'll see if Honorine wants to stay with me. I'll let you all go back down there.
Maybe this will make her hate me a little less. Damn.
I don't think that's possible.
You gotta have hopes. But otherwise, then he'll give that to some sister bonding and take Hans and Runa down to the Doom Room. He's totally ready to start slapping hands, though, if Runa decides to pull a Rosa and start trying to stick crystals into the holes to see what happens.
Well, let me describe everything for them before we do that. So it sounds like we're having Rosa and Honorine are spending time. Is Honorine wanting to stay away from the room, or is everybody going to be going down? Because if Honorine's going down, it seems like Rosa will be too.
I don't know. I think weren't they going to talk to people? Like, that's what I thought they were gonna do.
Yeah, I think they were, but Runa feels the need to like see things urgently.
But if Len's not gonna let her touch the crystals, why is she even going down?
Because you're not just gonna run off and go to who the fuck knows where.
She's gonna try to figure it out.
Yeah, and that
she could figure it out without touching them.
Everyone knows that you look
literally no, she can't.
See, I agree with Runa. We should be experimenting and see where the shiny
Runa
rocks go.
wants to
Nobody asked
experiment
you.
specifically to get her mom. You are just fucking around.
Anyway, I thought we were gonna go talk to people, and Honorine does have questions about the whole Iron Prince thing with the Nibelungen.
Yeah, Len, I'm excited to see the cave as well, but isn't that the pressing issue of the massive fucking mine of Draconisant down there as well?
I'm happy to spend some time with Rosa. It just seems like there are other things afoot.
If we have to talk to people first, let's get that done with so we can go down.
Unless half of us talk and the other half goes down.
I think I sometimes make things worse because I talk before I really think. So I'm happy to do a little bit of, and yes, I put that one softball for you, Honorine. But I'm happy to take people who maybe don't want to talk. It's kind of like hardball, but soft. We'll talk, I'll explain more later. But, so like I said, I'm happy to take people down to see the room and everything, but as to what happens to the Draconisant, I think that's going to be mostly Logan's call, with advice, of course, but, that's not going to, I think, be something that's fixed in a day or come up with anything in a day, because it could result in this whole city being wiped to the ground.
Because you had reported it to a Nibelung already, right?
This was news to everybody.
Oh.
Well, the Nibelung knows of the existence of the Draconisant because there was a Nibelung there.
They do now, but at the time that discovered it a day ago.
Yeah, I guess if they know about it, there's nothing else we can do then.
Well, they promised not to go spreading it around, so Fauner Posen doesn't have a reason to invade this city and raise it to the ground and put up her own mine. So that was kind of them.
Yeah.
Um,
To the cave we go then, I guess.
the we can actually make things a little bit simpler because Logan is happy to go back with all of y'all and have discussions along the way. Like, it is of pressing interest that there's a Cernith ruin beneath the city, as well as the drop.
Can we bring maybe my dad?
Maybe my dad. Gav is a little apprehensive of bringing Gilbert into Gerhardt into it. Not because he doesn't trust Gerhardt. He knows he doesn't. He's just, there's levels of trust. Like, although Gav does trust him with his life, he also knows what he does for a living, and Draconeisen is worth armies.
Runa would bring it up to Gav first.
Yeah, and that would
because
be his
Gav knows him more than
responsibility.
she does.
This man
Since
is
Gav
scoundrel.
does know Geralt for a long time, I want to make mention. While Geralt is interested in money, the thing that has held him about the Cernith is the fascination with it over the years. Does that make sense? That has become like, he thinks that the Cernith, yeah, he can make money off of the sales of their stuff and whatnot, but he's ultimately just deeply interested in what they do and whatnot. So like, and he's probably, outside of the Explorer Society, the most expert about them that Gav knows.
I think that would change his mind. He'd do the whole no one knows of this, so you do not know of this. Like that conversation. But if Gav can be certain that Geralt's more interested in the Cernith ruins than the potential that they're sitting on a literal gold mine.
Well, there's also that Geralt doesn't know what Draconeisen is in its raw form, so as long as nobody points out that's Draconeisen.
Oh. Yeah, I guess they'd be smuggling the actual stuff, like blades and cuirasses and stuff. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
So, yeah, Draconeisen is like one of those things, like when it's forged, it isn't smuggled. It's just like, it's not worth it because everything is stamped to belong to a particular family. If you are not that family and you're carrying it, like, that's an executable offense. Does not require much in the way of like explanation beyond that, unless you have like a reasonable, no, they told me to bring this to somebody, and then they'll like verify it.
If you've got like multiple signed documents, they might let you off the hook.
Yeah, well, that's generally a precaution. Or if you're like traveling back from a battlefield and we're like, we're returning this, then that's a different thing. And generally speaking, if you're immediately surrendering it because like the person that you're giving it to will get it to the right place, it's not an issue. But trying to use it as like stolen valor, extremely bad idea. So,
okay. I was just thinking
not
in terms
impossible,
of,
just
yeah. So I mean, I think if that is the case, then yeah, Gab would be more receptive to bringing Geralt into this.
Okay, so Runa and Gav going late at night to be like, hey, you want to come with us? We have something to show you. When Geralt kind of like greets both of them for like the second time in the middle of the night.
Well, it's my second time there.
Yeah. He seems fairly mute. He's like, is this a quick trip or should I pack a lunch?
Depends on the last time you ate.
I'm going to get some things. Come in, make yourselves comfortable.
Runa does go in, but she's kind of pacing.
I want a quick keen senses units from Runa.
So just split. 17.
Okay. So she's been on the lookout for like a locket that her mother wore many times that reminded her of her father. And
I don't know
the,
if
the thing
Runa
is
knows that specifically.
she knew that her mother like wore it a lot. Does that make sense? And what it's for the first time it's just kind of like, you know, pacing, looking around, like not really like looking at all the cool Cernith stuff and whatnot, but realizing that there's a lot of his like ship stuff that's here. Like there's a ship's wheel that's like attached to a wall, and you know, like some old oars that probably belonging to the whatever. There's also his flag that is like stretched across a wall, and there's a mark on it that Runa had always taken to be some sort of like combination of Scaregin runes that she just didn't recognize. That as she looks, she realizes that mark that she'd seen on her mother's necklace is Geralt's flag.
He's my dad. Runa like looks at it for a little while and then slowly turns to Gav and goes, "My mom has that symbol on a locket that she used to wear all the time. A locket I've been looking for."
You should ask him. It's like Gav's already put 2 and 2 together, more or less. But he's just like, you should ask him.
Gonna wait for him to come back. She's still pacing a bit.
Yeah. It says something about Geralt's entire lifestyle, that he still has a backpack that is like loaded with like exploration type equipment, including like a lantern, rope, grappling hooks, pythons, you know, climbing gear, everything that doesn't get unpacked. Like it's just there to be grabbed and picked up. The only thing that he's thrown into it is he's like filled it up with food.
Gav's kind of like, he's just sort of smirking. He's like, I see, as long as you've been in the city, it is not the place you wish to have been.
He kind of smiles. He says, "Hey, one never knows when adventure will strike, right?
Da.
Or when one needs to exit the city quickly."
Gav remembering himself running to Gotskirka, one change of clothes. Da, very important, da.
You're like, mental note to self, keep go bag.
While they're talking, Runa's just looking at him for a long moment.
Yeah.
My mom had a locket with the symbol of your flag that she wore all the time.
The kind of banter fades as Runa cuts in with that.
Looking for the locket since everyone was separated.
I didn't think she thought of me that much.
Would Runa know that the locket reminded Ingvild of Runa's father?
In Runa's mind, she kind of like went for the locket whenever she needed to like find some faith in herself. Like it was definitely sort of a worry stone for her of like taking a moment, getting her courage ready, and then like addressing the crew in like a bad time or, you know, something like that.
I thought that locket a good luck charm, as my mom used it as a worry stone. I think that means something. And I think we both know what it might mean.
I'd very much like to see her again and ask.
Well, if I can figure out this gate, maybe that can happen.
He nods. Going to a gate. Says you found the gate.
I didn't, but the others know where it is.
And his interest definitely seems to like deepen. And by the time you guys get down into the sewers, Logan Seeger is there. Everybody else has gathered. There is no Nibelung this time to help with the descent, but it isn't necessary because in the intervening day, there's like the kind of hand cranked dumbwaiter elevators that are just like a pulley system and rope and stuff like that, has been set up on the other side of it. It's still like completely unseen from this side, but now instead of going down a rope, there's like, a whole device that like when pulled up can probably take like 2 or 3 people, and they'll be able to descend themselves, and it's not as much of like an effort of strength and muscle. And a relatively simple and not exactly sturdy yet platform has been erected at the base of it, so it doesn't come down and rest in the mud. Which is the only reason you can pull it back up again afterwards, because otherwise it would be a one-way trip. So to describe for those people who weren't here, like what happens is they go into the sewers. There's a hole that's been covered up with like barrels and planks and stuff like that, just to make it look like part of the wall is being patched. Behind it, it drops completely away into a completely dark cavern. At the bottom of it is a waterway that cuts through the Cernith ruin. That Cernith ruin is 2 tunnels that seem to extend off in like as far as you can see with lamplight and torchlight. When the party was here before, they did some calculations based on the curvature of those tunnels as to how big it would be. And I'm making something on the map right now. It's going to be very rough, but basically that tunnel would be it would encircle the city about like so. So miles
with
and miles.
the Wachtturm in the middle.
Yeah, with the Wachtturm, by estimate, exactly in the middle of it. They pass like bands of like a red colored metal that looks like the same kind of metal that's in Gap's hand. And at one point they reach a wall that everybody who's kind of been here just simply walks right through. It seems to like just be a wall of light that looks exactly like everything else. The bodies are completely gone. In a single day, they've moved upwards of 40 bodies out of here. So
Much better footing now.
without the smell, but it does lend credence to what Strauss had been saying about that they were simply unable to before. All right. When the party goes through, they are brought into a room that has 2 other exits, besides the one that everybody walks down, which is a small stairwell. The stone is perfectly smooth, like the stone of the tunnel outside of it. And there's one central portal that has 7 holes in it, and at the base of it are 7 they look like colored gemstones that are cut into the shapes that Runa recognizes. I think you guys can all like grab the cards yourself now. I changed the rules on them. Let's see, getting it to shuffle real quick. I'm gonna shuffle up to Runa just because. So I think she should have them now. Yeah. There are 9 other portals that are against the remaining 3 walls. There are 3 to each side. I'm setting the map for that real quick. This is terrible and hand drawn, and I apologize, but each of these 3 doors is one of these portals. These portals that are against the walls look like they're just literally set into the stone. And the one that is red at the bottom appears to be the only one that looks to be broken and damaged.
And there's only the one that has like insets for stuff, or do all of them have insets?
The only the one in the middle has insets for stuff.
Is there kind of a place in the area where she can like go to the side from everyone else and try to contact Gris one more time?
There are like the various corners that are different
Mhm.
degrees of like shadowy, but she can just step away from people.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make your roll. Gerald, by the way, like to those who haven't met him yet, he just sort of introduces himself. He says, "I'm a local businessman," and he kind of eyes Logan when he says that. Says, and something of an expert in this room, as such as any person exists.
I don't add mastery level, correct? It's just resolve and gateway.
Yes.
$48.
So you start to like, like throwing your senses outwards, and the world seems to like spin and curve, and you like there's frequently when you're using this ability, you're sort of like flashing across a landscape going so fast that all you catch is like a tree, a building, a cloud, that kind of thing. Instead, what you see is like the portal itself. Like you just sort of like slam into it, and you realize that your gateway is like whatever is going on in this room, your gateway is affected by it. And your image sort of like remains locked on it. You can't quite pull back or like move it through, but you see like half a dozen images play across your vision of different worlds. One of them you have seen before. You've seen the mirror before when your mother was in it. You see another that looks like an endless ocean as far as you can see. The others are just quick flashes that you can't quite get through, but there is one of them where for a brief moment you see like massive insectoid warriors walking across what looks like an island. And then your vision sort of comes back. Like your ability to use gateway is restricted here, and it's never been restricted anywhere else that you've used it.
Do we see anything different when she does this?
What you see is just like her rune like flaring on her neck, and it looks like the way somebody looks like kind of like when they walked headfirst into glass. There's like an unexpected like thump, and her head snaps back, but she's fine.
I will say only Omen is on her neck right now. Gateway is on her bicep.
Her bicep. Okay. Gerald kind of, he says, "Are you all right?"
I'm fine. My gateway doesn't work in here.
I've been in a room like this before. This is almost exactly like this, except that door, and he points to like the broken archway, was over there, and he points at another place.
She has the paper that she wrote the runes down on in the order that Gris gave them to her. And she's kind of just staring at the paper. She's just in her head.
He says, we tried putting these in a number of combinations before. He says, if you don't mind, I can show you some of the things we saw.
Okay.
Oh, you've managed to open one?
Not precisely, or, well, we opened it once, he says, and one of my explorers went through, but they never returned. He kind of he moves over and he says, the first thing we tried, he says, was the colors of the rainbow, because these matched. He says, and when it did that, he says the portal didn't open. Well, it did. Like, I can show you. It wasn't dangerous when we did it before.
Just in case Glenn's gonna kind of lean on his spear.
And he goes like in order of like red, orange, yellow, green, and like locks them each into place. And they all like there's a moment where the portal itself, it splits into three parts that are all like connected by joints along the sides and seem to like spin around each other. I think there's a specific name for that kind of it's like one ring inside another ring inside of another, all of them spinning fast enough that they sort of like disappear out of view. And
Like
then
a
it just
gyroscope.
abruptly, yeah, thank you. And then it just abruptly stops and goes back, and all of the stones fall to the ground. Thank you. Concentric gyroscopic rings. He says, then we tried changing it up. Lifts and he puts like a red in, and then he puts yellow, and then he puts orange, and then green, and then blue, and then indigo, and then violet. And it spins again. And instead of like just snapping back, it becomes a silvery, mirrorish liquid. And having been in the dark paths, it looks almost like the edge of that glass, like the barrier that they encircled. They had specifically described it looked silvery when there was a hole in it.
What glass? I had a cat coming out of my neck at the time. I didn't really see what glass you guys are talking about.
There's a dome in the sky almost to kind of covered the city. If I kind of.
Do I remember what color? I think she would remember. What color was the portal that opened up when Red went to Valhalla? What did it look like?
Shoot, I didn't. It had looked. Actually, I need to look something up real quick.
I think I might know how we get to the seventh sea, but we don't know Arthur's there yet. I'm thinking because it's the mirror, we do the rainbow in reverse, but that is just a thought. We'll get there.
Okay.
I was also thinking what would happen if we did it in reverse, but
well, because the seventh
It's
sea
like
is
dividing by
the
zero.
mirror.
The there was like an orangish hue around him. Do you want to try the rainbow in reverse as the next thing?
My next move was to try it in the order that Gris gave them to me. Just in case that was the
Gris
order
had
that my
just
mom
sort of
gave
like
them to
drawn
her.
them down, but
Okay.
like she was just trying to sort of get them out. You were very aware that like it was probably not the order that was given to her. It was just the best she could do under the circumstances.
Man. She's gonna try something and start with orange.
The so just going through like the normal rainbow, but doing orange first, and then yellow, and then okay. And so the last color is red.
Like the Caesar.
Okay.
Caesar separate.
Okay. So the 3 rings begin to spin again, and instead of turning silver, what happens is she begins to see water and then islands, and she begins to see the ships, or sorry, not the ships, the longhouses that she's seen in her visions starting to appear. But the rings continue spinning; they don't stop, and they just wind down, and like the image of that area just fades as the rings come back to a perfect stop where they were.
Could we all see into that?
Snapping into everybody sees it. They see like longhouses and like very very strange like archipelago that in many places it looks like islands are sort of like missing from it, almost cut out of it. Does that make sense?
So she
sees it briefly, but like the portal is continually like moving, like, and the rock of the rings looks like it's moving fast enough that it would like literally shatter bone to be touched by it. It never comes to a halt as it did with like the silvery looking one.
You can't usually see through those, can you?
Geralt says, I've never seen it do that before.
What is this place?
She's gonna yell mom because she can still see it, but the rings are spinning.
They're slowing down now. The image is starting to fade.
She's just gonna yell mom.
There's no response.
She tried it.
Wait. Yeah, Gav makes a wait. Geralt, what is this? Is this a nexus of some kind, I guess?
He points to like the areas that are around, like the doors that are around on each side. He says, do you see the marks that are over all of these?
Yeah.
And there are like lines of black, as well as each of the maps also has like a line of red that is extending to one particular portion. I'm gonna bring the thing up real quick. Sorry. I don't think my description is the best. So
it's a
above
very
all
confusing matrix.
Yeah, above the symbols. Back here. Is this.
So is this above every door? Are we looking at this design like?
All of these, this exact design is above every single arch.
Okay.
And Logan is watching it as well, like studying it.
Runa's writing down the order that got her to see it.
You said you've seen a place like this before, Geralt?
There's under Montaigne, near identical, except that one broken door was in a different location.
Did they have the line thing map above the
Yes.
the gates too?
Yes, everything. The gate, these are everything about it was identical, except for the placement of. He says, and I know it was distinct and not just a matter of my orientation because it was on the edge of one of these instead of in the middle as it is now.
Oh, huh. It goes over and cranes his neck and like stares like really close to one of the maps. I got nothing.
Does Gav see any of the red metal bands or anything of the similar color to his hand in this room at all?
The area in the ground that is around the main like arch, it has a band around it.
Gav leans down and he touches it with his finger.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to do anything in response.
At least we know it is not guarded. I think.
It is odd though
Geralt
that you can
says-
turn them off but not turn them back on.
Duh.
Runa kind of just is staring into the gate as the familiar image fades. Just thinking.
She's got the sad music playing behind her.
Yeah.
Orchestra swelling.
Little numbers floating in the air around her face.
Kind of thought that's what it was going to be.
Letting you to turn off? What?
Well,
What happened
these rings
before?
here, we're not going to go too much into the rings, but when they were on before Gav touched them, it was kind of like, you know, have you ever walked across rug with your like really fluffy socks on and touch something, you got that? It was like that, only a lot more painful. And it seemed to attract metal and hold it floating in a little field. But once Gav touched it with, you know, with his strong hand, he you know, they deactivated, but we haven't been able to turn them back on, and I kind of wish we could.
She's
Yeah, I'd be interested to see that as well.
I think the problem is there's a
Runa
great
had also
number.
mentioned.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Runa had also mentioned you want to try the reverse order.
Yeah.
Okay. Once Geralt gets the idea of like what she's doing, he helps, you know, kind of like put some pieces up, and it's just the exact opposite order. The rings begin to spin again. Everybody kind of steps back, and it is spinning. And we're gonna cut over to back in the mirror, where as Arthur is busy trying to convince the man that he's with to sing the sea shanties, over his shoulder he sees a perfect circle starting to appear in the sky.
Can we reach that? You think?
He says, I think so. It looks like it's level with the water.
Fantastic. Also, quick question. What's your name? I realize I haven't asked that yet.
He says, Odin.
Knew it.
I knew it.
Am I hanging out with the god again?
He continues to push like the rowboat like as fast as he can, and Runa, she's like standing in front of the circle, and she sees it like it looks out on a perfectly placid glass mirror finished lake with a rowboat that is rapidly coming towards them. There is two familiar figures that are on the rowboat as it draws closer. The rowboat is not wide enough to get through the circle, which means that as it hits, the both of them just sort of tumble through the circle, and then the the circle starts again and just sort of turns into toothpicks, the rowboat. In just like a half second, as it like gets hit like that, it like sprays pieces of woods in all directions, and you see, a
It's
cloaked
the deck!
familiar face with one eye, and Arthur Wolf, who's been missing for some time now, thrown onto the floor.
I rolled a 20 for finesse. Which one do I catch?
Your turn.
I think the other one would fall into Runa.
Okay. Yeah, Odin like topples atop her, I'm gonna say. And Gav gets a hold of Arthur.
Hello! It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's good
Does
to see
she-
you still have all your teeth, my friend.
And Gav and Arthur is immediately being hugged from behind by Logan.
It's good to see you too, friend. It's been a while,
Does
hasn't it?
Runa recognize that it is Odin?
Yeah, he pushes up and he says, "Hello again."
Odin.
Yeah, he
You
helped
know-
me get out of the terrifying place I was. I'm not going to go into too many details.
I'm not even surprised that you popped out of this thing at this point. I
Not at
really am
all.
not. I should be, but why not?
You know what? Yeah,
She
a good
seems
point, Lynn.
stunned, but also slightly disappointed. Not that Odin is here or that Arthur is here, but that she can't seem to get her mom.
Geralt, helps the both of them up. And Odin, he sort of like brushes hair at his face. Like Runa recognizes that, like, while he is possessed of that spirit, he and every other Odin have been distinct people.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? And he
It's good to see you again.
it's good to see you again too.
There seems to be some tension here. What have I missed?
As Runa says, it's good to see you
Oh.
again. She kind of has like what is the beginnings of tears forming in her eyes that she's refusing to let fall.
Yeah, and he seems to like recognize it. He just like reaches forward, like wraps his arms around her.
She says nothing. She just stays there.
So you two have a history then. That's neat.
We've met once before. Ago. Very
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah, that's great. What did you miss? Well, there actually a lot of it I don't think we can actually discuss. We're under oath not to discuss as long as Gav's friend is here.
To put it simply,
Ooh.
you've missed everything and also completely nothing, because makes a gesture like look at this fucking place gesture.
Gestures broadly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't
Teasers.
even know anymore.
I was
Wait,
looking for my mom.
Oh, has that been going well? No. Okay.
You're here and she's not. I'm glad you're here. Sad she's not.
Yeah. I don't know how to respond to this very well.
Don't worry about it. Glad you're back, Arthur.
Odin
What?
says, Jack told me how to get to that mirror. He said it was a place that connected to many other worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, so does this thing. If you know the right code.
She's in
He says-
Valhalla.
Forgive my ignorance.
This is-
Isn't that a place you have to be dead to be?
As far as I knew, but she's there and alive.
I mean, why can't one of these
and
big
Odin
freaking things let
says-
somebody walk into the land of the dead for some other religion? Why not?
Odin says there is a lot of evidence that Valhalla is not just a place of death. He says, my people have, for a very long time, ascribed to a belief that I've begun to believe is based on lies.
All right.
Not
Last
not the
question
time and
before
place
any.
for that now.
No, last question I have at the moment. Could people let go of me so I'm no longer sandwiched between two very lovely people, but still sandwiched between them nonetheless?
Logan kind of nods. And loses Arthur. He says, I thought you were
Knifed by an angry husband? Yeah.
no,
that was a
I
distinct
thought you were
possibility.
having a time in the city.
I literally have no idea what the last thing I was doing was. I believe I was a child again and talking to my aunt.
Queen. Yes,
We're under the sea.
And then suddenly
Yeah.
I was back home and actually fully a child again to be rescued by the lovely Odin here. And I may or may not have peeked under his eye patch. You know, that's just not the best thing to do, though. So just, I wouldn't suggest everyone else do.
The only thing under there is knowledge. Kind of a
I feel like what you
smirk, but
isn't the only thing under there a lesson that you paid a deep price for.
That's where knowledge and wisdom come from.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot.
So
I worry for you.
as everybody's sort of doing catch-ups, what are Rosa and Honorine up to?
What's Trouble and More Trouble up to?
They're talking quietly.
Yeah. And Rosa's curiosity is satiated with the stones.
Honorine heard that there's another gateway under Montaigne and is now trying to figure out how they get to that one. And so she's like, well, okay, I'm glad your curiosity is sated, but mine's not.
And at the same time, Rose is trying to figure out she wants to talk to Arthur about Mob or Mabe, but she's also trying to figure out how does she fix the issue with the Unraveled.
I would like Honorine to make a wits and scholar roll.
So can Arthur see the big pattern for everything and know what the map is supposed to do? Like, what do we see for the map?
So I accidentally switched this over to this map. It was supposed to be a reveal that came later.
Okay, never mind, because I think I worked out how the rainbow runes work. Maybe.
Which
31.
I accidentally completely spoiled. So I want to give this to Honorine as spent time studying the other arches and looking at Montaigne and everything like that, that she's the one who works out that the distances are roughly equitable to the maps that she has been studying as part of all of her scholarly stuff with Jemay. The only thing that is a question is the red lines, because those would lead directly into an ocean. We'll see, really.
Well, do you have the bolded lines in a handout somewhere?
I don't have the bolded lines in a handout, but what each one of the doors represents is one line leading away from Freeburg and to a particular city, and she'll be able to tell Charus to Freeburg would be this line right here, right? And she can find the door that corresponds to that.
Okay. So what if all right. She's gonna start moving stones around, like rune stones around.
Which stones is she moving? These stones that are built into the arch, they are like part of the structure. Does that
I'm
make
talking
sense?
about
The only one that is
the ones that we can move that do things with the portals, the rune
oh, with the
stones.
main portal,
Um,
the colored gems that are a part of this.
yeah, I might have like missed the something in the description because the main portal is the one that has just like slots around it, right? But none of the other ones do.
None of the other ones do. They all just have the sort of like map lines that are above it as to which indicate kind of like where they go. Like in a subway system, which is
Yeah.
not a parallel that Honor would be capable of making as yet, but I'm using for explanation. The lines.
But they're just empty portals, right?
Yes. However, Honorine has a unique advantage in this particular place because she is Montaigne, and Porte gateways are a relatively common thing there. They're used to connect the capital to almost everywhere else via gateways that have been constructed with the blood of Porte sorcerers. And the thing that she knows will open a Porte gate that has been closed because it hasn't been tended to is blood.
Like a lot of it.
No, like literally like most of the time they just like cut their hand open, they put it on it, and it snaps back.
Well, okay, so she's gonna go ahead and like prick her finger and put it over the Montaigne gate.
Okay. She's used to Porte gates being red, right? And when she pulls like there, it feels like it pulls more blood than just a drop out of her hand. Like there's an immediate numbness that goes up to the wrist. And she watches like on the wall as water separates out of like she sees part of her blood just almost immediately dry. Does that make sense? And kind of stick to the stone wall. But the water begins to shimmer. And it starts to reach out towards the edges of the portal, and then it doesn't quite reach it before it dissipates. But you could see it almost attempting to finish its connection. There just wasn't enough from the amount that it took.
We're near water, aren't we?
Yeah, there's a river like right down around. Geralt also has like a water skin with him because he brought an explorer's pack.
Okay. Can I borrow that for a moment? May I?
Yeah, he offers it.
So she's gonna start tipping the water down the arch in where she had put her hand.
It's almost instant. Like what was there just spreads across the arch, and once it covers every single corner, the entirety of it just sort of flickers, and she can see what looks like a mirror of the room that they're in. Only there's none of them in it. Every single Porte gate she's seen has been blood red, same rules as close your eyes, keep them closed, etc. She's never seen one that looks clear. But this one looks as clear as water itself.
Neat.
So,
I'm gonna go through the gate.
Gav is going with you.
Wait,
Rose is
which gate did
following.
you open?
One of
The
the
one
ones
to
on the
Montaigne.
outside. The one to Montaigne. The ones on
Okay.
the outer edge of the room.
So Rose
Lenda's just
immediately dives
putting his-
after. Gav immediately dives after.
Let's
If it was
putting
the
a
one
spear
to-
through the gate to keep it
If
open.
it was the one to Crescent, Runa would join.
Honorine steps through. It is like jumping into a shower. Does that make sense? Like full blast from every direction. a little bit like a bidet at the same time, like sort of a like getting to the other side, like spitting up water and like coming out of her nose and everything, and it's dripping off of her at the same time. But the transmission is nearly instant. In and the others, as they kind of like, Rosa runs into her, Gav runs into her, they're all soaking wet, and as they look back, like, you guys can see each other through the portal. You can see each other in the arches.
Excuse me.
Len's just keeping a spear like in apparently 2 different points on the map right now, just to make sure, or like trying to ensure it doesn't close behind them.
Also, Bruno, I've got a slight question, but that can wait for. That's neat. And now I'm going to ask the question. You're trying to find your mum using these gemstones?
How she got into Valhalla. I don't know what order the stones were in because she didn't tell me what she did. I can't contact her anymore.
Is there a color for Valhalla?
It's
When
kind of a puce.
Orangey. Okay.
orangey.
And what did you do before?
She's gonna put them in the same order that she did.
Would it make sense to end with the orange one though, instead, potentially in a reverse order, considering this isn't an earthly place you're trying to go to, as well. But to end with the orange one, because it makes more sense that your destination is the last color, as opposed to your place of currentness.
That's smart.
Go ahead and put into chat the exact order you're trying to put the colors in.
Okay.
Rosa and Honorine and Gav are on the other side of the portal. What would you guys like to do? Is anybody trying to join them, or others just sort of trying to stay and keep something in the portal itself?
So the order that the stones were in are in like the order of the colors.
Put
the
it
order
into
that
the chat.
the order that Runa did the first time was OIG.
Where she saw the longhouses.
Yeah, that's orange, yellow, green, BIVR.
This is what it would be.
Oigbiver.
In the reverse, though, it would be. We're still ending with O.
Igbivro, okay.
Honorane's coming back.
Igbivro, I just want to say there are the same stairs like that lead out of like the place that they're in. They don't really have any confirmation they are in Montana as yet, just that they've stepped through and into another place.
Gav tells them to tells Rose and Honorine to kind of like stay put. He's going to say, I will go first. And he's going to start to make his way up the stairs very cautiously.
Honorine's going behind him.
Then Rosa.
Okay. Gav goes first, but it's not far before they find Honorine knows of the sewers systems of Montaigne because they are like legendary. They were part of a massive Cernith ruin, and they were turned into sewers because Montaigne. And because it was a city that had grown large enough that it needed a waste disposal system, and it turned it into that. But it is like widely known. Everybody who's been to Charus knows about it, and it's distinctive enough in its architecture. She can affirmatively say we are in Charus, not just Montaigne, Charus itself.
Okay. Are we
okay?
Where are we in Charus? Do we know? Do I know?
She's never really been down in the sewers enough to be able to navigate through them, other than to know that these are Charusian sewers, which will be under the city itself, as the city was built over them for convenience.
Honorine's going to convey that to Gav and Rosa. Like, this is Charus. These are the catacombs. We're in Montaigne.
Never been in the Montaigne.
Neither have I. No, wait, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. She has.
She could say she hasn't, though. Mm.
Okay.
Guys, like sewers smell the same. Somehow I thought they would be more like flowers.
All right. So our Igbivro leads to silver, right? Our Vibgigio also leads to silver. Roy G. Biv, Arthur wasn't there for it, but he sees the same thing where it like starts the thing and then it just seems to stop. It does not lead somewhere.
Multiple results
Vibgior,
for silver.
when you get to that one, leads back to the mirror. It opens up again. There's some like chunks of wood that are like floating across the water, but that portal remains open. Unlike when she looked in on the longhouses before, where it never stopped and became a stable portal, it does become stable. She could step through to the mirror.
My mom. You guys were on the seventh sea. My mom must have gone to Valhalla from the seventh sea.
Ah, well, that sounds like a terrible idea to do.
He says,
I
it's a place that connects worlds. Says this gate may only go one place and come back.
With the silver looks like what was on the other side of the glass in the dark paths, or like the kind of just ambience of the dark paths.
Like when the glass like boundary barrier thing of the dark paths was cracked, what people saw when they looked through the holes was silver just like this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Did your friend who never came back go into silver?
Yes.
That would explain why he never came back. That's
Meanwhile, assuming this is okay with Gavin, Rosa, like the other three like pile back out of the portal and are like, we were in truth. It goes to Montaigne.
well,
Oh, neat. I haven't been to Charus in ages.
You mapped it. You mapped them that quickly. What the...
I just what
How
it was no, we just stepped through and it was Charus. The
but
architecture
did
is
you
very
think
distinctive.
it was going to go to Charus when you opened that specific one?
I had a pretty good idea.
Well, then we are right to be in awe. And
Yeah,
I'm
then
taking
see
my
what
spear
I
back
said
now.
before.
Now, how do we close it? Because this is also like 9 very bad security risks for the city.
Can we just say the words off and see if that works? Or do we have to wait for the water to dry up?
I was actually going to ask if I have my magic back.
You have your magic, yeah. Because
It
you
got
got
buffed.
Because he hit you with the no magic stick.
You got put in
Yes.
timeout.
Got hit with the
forgot about
horny
that.
stick.
Totally hit with the horny bonk stick.
yeah, I'll you can have it back.
Can I do like
Arthur
a
has so many jokes about horny sticks.
feed or some? Can I fire it at dry?
Yeah.
Feed or
you guys kind of
whatever.
watch like she just puts her hand out and starts to like manifest fire out of nothing. And it licks across the portal and the portal seems to kind of like shake for a moment and then it like snaps closed.
Just gonna hand back the water skin. Thank you.
Did we put the reverse in again at last step? Was that the last thing we did, or
so when you did the reverse that opened to the mirror, that was you guys just did it was when you did Roy G Viv backwards, right?
Yeah.
The Vib Gior. You have not yet done our Vib Gio because the portal is like remaining open now.
How do we close the portal safely?
Can you still see the crystals? Like, are they still around the edge of the thing? Yeah. Oh, Yoink.
Oh, fantastic.
And it closes.
Let's try the one where it ends in orange, but still with the reverse pattern.
Yeah, here he's just gonna chuck the crystal to somebody and get his poking stick because he's absolutely certain something bad is coming out of this one of these times. We're not so lucky as to have a bunch of completely incident-free plays with the Portal of Doom.
Gav absolutely has a left hook fired, like primed in the chamber.
Has Runa said that her friend is in the Crescent Lands, right?
Yes.
I thought it's the other
Teleported
one.
by Charlotte.
We're
Or
opening
Tate
the
over.
I'm gonna go
by
open that one.
Cathay portal.
Our Vibgio also leads to silver.
Runa puts back in Roichi Biv backwards and just stares into it contemplatively.
That
Runa.
scene doesn't end.
Are you coming or what?
It is the seventh. The seventh seat then? Yeah.
Yeah, 7th again, but Henri just opened a portal to the Crescent Lands, right? So
This can wait.
So wait, so you've just opened the Crescent Lands one? Okay.
Take notice.
There's too many portals that something could come through that needs
Len is busy with like the portal, and like as the portal
Oops,
like
all
snaps
portals.
open.
Runa's gonna take a
Henri
crystal
sees
out of
through
the
the-
main portal.
This just sounds like
Hold
my
up, hold up.
game. Too
Hold
many
on.
portals.
Hold up. Let me. Okay. Currently, the main portal to the mirror is open, right? And Rune's looking through it. Honorine has just opened the portal to the Crescent Lands, which when it opens up, there's kind of like a pause, and it looks like a room exactly like this one. And then she sees two heads sort of like appear on the other side of the portal wearing keffiyehs, and they have like swords and everything like that. And they look as though they're like maybe palace guards or somebody, like they look like guardsmen. And you see one of them, he kind of sticks his sword into it. He looks completely alarmed, like what the fuck is happening? And then he sees figures on the other sides of it.
Close it, close it, close it, close it.
How do you say what the fuck in Crescent?
I will give you one action, and then we are rolling initiative.
Close it.
Close it.
Can I close it?
Yes, we are not rolling initiative. You see him, like he starts to kind of go into it when she like and like burns the water. Takes a couple flesh wounds because she's doing it a little hotter than she did before.
Look, there's a note.
Catches sight of him just kind of like pulling back at just the moment, like right as the thing snaps closed again.
There's no like dropped nose or like half a face, is there?
Hopefully not.
There's what?
No.
It's like
No.
No.
He would just, he wasn't jumping through it first thing. He was like contemplating it.
Who jumps
Okay.
through
Went
a
on
strange
reading,
portal
sure.
first thing? God, who does that?
Arthur.
Us?
I mean, I literally did that
Runa
at age 7
is-
though, so
Actively contemplating going to the 7th sea.
yes,
because
that is
she's
why
figuring things out.
Friend
Arthur
Runa,
is-
You do not have boat.
Arthur has like on the most wavy, like non-weighing down piece of fabric, something you wouldn't notice Arthur holding on to slightly.
As
Well,
Gav
we-
says, friend Runa, you don't have a boat. Out of
do,
her
you just have
bag,
to
she
fix it.
pulls out the snow globe.
Yeah, but isn't it only pieces of a boat? Don't you have to fix it before you can use it?
It
like
is
a whole boat
pieces
to
of a
me.
boat when it was like in the snow globe, but Mab said it was the Revenge
Oh, well,
because it was sunk. So, but the other thing is, she also saw her mother on the Revenge in the mirror.
Honoring to Geralt, like, do you have a towel?
Yeah, he pulls one.
Always
It
has
looks
a
more like
towel.
a camp blanket than a
Wait
towel.
a
But
second.
Thank
Arthur
you so
looks at
much.
himself. Is he wearing overalls?
no, he's in the clothes that he was wearing the night that he disappeared.
Oh, thank God. Arthur does
There's
not.
also, he was
Gosh,
realizing
gosh,
for the
but
first time,
gosh.
there's like dried blood like along the side of it, as though he were like stabbed in the side at some point.
Someone stabbed me.
Not recently.
We don't
Yeah,
know.
I
You
can
haven't
tell
been around.
that. I just meant what?
And it
Was
smells
that a comment on my
faint-
sexual proclivity?
It smells faintly of honeysuckle.
I was going to put that away and worry about that for later.
So wait,
Because
wait.
he is very concerned of that.
You got
Okay.
roofied.
So we've got the seventh sea. We know how to open a portal to the seventh sea here, and these portals seem to go to other cities. The one we want to go through is obviously guarded by people who did not look happy to see us, but did not expect to see us.
Who also did not look like that was a thing they knew it could do, which means we probably
Geralt
have people
says,
that now
"Why
know
post
there are
guards
portals
on it
around
if you-"
this place.
Geralt says, "Why post guards on it if you don't know what it can do?"
Good point.
Maybe it's just never opened in their lifetime.
Perhaps the guards just don't know what it does.
We should probably board this one up then.
A
We don't need Charlotte to get Gris.
bit of a security
Well,
hazard.
do you know
yeah.
where Gris is in the Crescent Lands? Because that's a whole lot of area to cover, and I don't think any of us, except maybe Honorine, speaks the language.
I don't, but unfortunately Charlotte does.
So we still need to beat the shit out of the
Well,
Hell
I mean,
Cousin.
You said your
Correct.
gateway is fucked up down here, right? What if you just go topside again and
I've seen where she is.
speak to Gris?
I've
But
seen where she is.
Gris know where she is, too. Like,
She was portayed over.
yeah. So
Hmm.
I mean, like within Crescent, knowing where that Gris, can tell she's in Crescent doesn't, or they are in
She's
Crescent.
by a
doesn't-
shore. That's all I know.
That's a big
There's
shoreline.
a lot of
Ooh.
shoreline.
Logan
I'm
clears
aware.
his throat. He says, "There's a woman in my city who's participating in a slave trade to Crescent Lands. Is that correct?"
Yeah.
Yes.
See,
Says,
Yeah.
"A member of your family and somebody who can accomplish porte at will, which means that arresting her will be difficult, to say the least."
And we have no proof.
I'm
This is
proof.
the word of the
we
council
do
is
have
proof.
She'd recognize me, although I'm not sure I'd recognize her.
I did copy some of her leisure
What
as well.
I need to know is if there is a way to keep a porte sorcerer from jumping.
You don't happen to have a mirror ghost nearby, do you?
I don't think so.
Siosa,
How
if
do
I'm
you-
remembering correctly, mirror ghosts are what can keep them in place.
Yes, that's how they're trapping Jemay.
And a mirror ghost is someone who I don't remember.
A mirror ghost is made when a porte sorcerer uses porte in front of a mirror.
Are there any
So,
legends about
theoretically-
how to find one?
Yeah, they're in a mirror. They are known to be like fucking murderous, and like the only way to like keep them from murdering is to have two mirrors facing each other. That traps a mirror ghost and prevents it from killing. If it's just like when you just do it in front of a mirror, what happens is the mirror ghost appears and then tries to kill the porte sorcerer.
So theoretically, I'm just spitballing. Wouldn't it make sense to bring these people into a room full of mirrors so that they can't suddenly just jump?
A room full of mirrors, if they knew, presumably they would choose not to jump because they wouldn't want to create a room full of mirror ghosts.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like if we don't know what she looks like, but we know the general group of people she's with, couldn't we all invite them all into one room with mirrors that are clearly displayed?
Honorine knows her.
Oh, then.
Yeah.
She's
It's
a
Honorine
she's my
cousin.
cousin.
Now- oh, well,
I just can't say for certain who I've encountered. I have no memory from that time. That's the problem.
Logan says, "You have evidence that she has been doing slave trading, yes?" I'm asking the council assembled here before me if they are certain that she has been trading slaves.
We have
Ledger.
We
See,
have direct proof of
Oh.
criminal activity. Yeah,
Uh,
I
Honorine, you
copied
discovered
entries
stuff,
from her
right?
ledger.
what was the question, Len?
I said just Honorine, you were the one who's kind of spearheading the investigation in her.
Well, I think we have evidence that she's moving something. I don't remember that we have evidence that she's moving people. Do we?
We have proof that she's smuggling, as far as we know, because we have massive transactions in her ledger that have virtually no details compared to regular business transactions that she's kept very detailed logs of for the ceramics.
Gav looks over to Geralt and he's like, "The ceramic works."
Oh, didn't one of you say that the only thing that you could smuggle in this city that besides Dracheneisen that would be worth that much would be people?
Just been said a lot, actually. That is one of the biggest criminal enterprises here, as far as I know, is the smuggling of humans.
Logan
Because
says,
I
do we know where this happens?
I know where I came from.
Gavin and Hans know where it's been happening because they found the bloody room.
The murder house.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
also
yeah, we
have
do.
records that she's
There
been
are
holding more
multiple-
places too.
Yeah. Because Gav did that with Hannelore.
Gav's
So
going
did
to
the-
be a dad soon.
He's technically
Bad Gav.
You're gonna be a father. Congratulations.
Logan
You've
looks to
missed a
Hans.
lot
He
over
says,
there.
Logan kind of smiles. He says, "You missed the party," and kind of squeezes Arthur's shoulder. He says, "Here is my order." He says, "This woman is dangerous. She has been enslaving people in my city." He says, "She will have every right to speak for herself in a trial, but if in the meantime her cooperation will save the life of a council member's family," he says, "then we will give her the opportunity to cooperate. But first, we will capture her." He
Are there
says,
like manacles or anything that shut down magic that anybody knows of? Some sort of metal or
a
ritual?
left hook to the
Bong
face.
stick. Bong stick.
No hands.
Oh shit! Bonk stick.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Bong
say there's a
stick!
bong
We-
stick,
We know
but
of someone.
we can also
Bong
just
stick in
place
here.
her in front of a mirror.
A room of
This is-
mirrors would probably be easier to get a hold of.
if we know the
Essentially,
place where
see-
she's going to do this, we move mirrors into it in secret.
Yay, my
When she
suggestion's
attempts-
being listened to.
And
This is a,
each
this is a
nod
strange
when-
feeling.
Hold on.
Wait, Gav, you said multiple?
What did you say,
if,
Suicide?
if there are multiple locations, we can afford multiple mirrors. We set them up in the homes. We have guards set upon them. When she moves into them, they arrest her. Will that satisfy everyone?
I think so. The question, I
He's
don't know
looking
much
very
about these
specifically at Runa.
mirror ghosts, but like, does the Porte sorcerer get to go through their portal and just leave the murder ghost behind? Or does it
No,
stop their
the
spell from
appearance of the
working?
mirror ghost breaks the porte as it's trying
Okay.
to go.
Okay, I'm more comfortable then.
And Honorine's explaining like all of this, having grown up around Porte.
Well, then we would need a mirror to sell of some kind to hold her long term, no?
I think there only
I'm-
needs to be a single mirror that you place
Oh,
in the
Hmm.
cell.
oh, that's
Two
much
facing
more
each other, actually.
much more convenient.
Well, the two
then.
facing
Okay.
each other holds the mirror ghost, right?
Yes, if
It's
you
so
just
that
put
the
one
mirror
in
ghost
the
doesn't
mirror
Hold
ghost
on.
continually tries to. If you put one in, the mirror ghost will continually try to murder the porte sorcerer. If you put
Right.
two in, it traps the mirror ghost.
Well, but if she portes in front of a mirror, that's how the ghost is created, right?
Yes.
So she doesn't want to porte in front of a mirror in the first place. So we probably don't need two. We probably just need one. Right?
Maybe keep one on hand to wheel into view, because if the mirror ghost is trapped when she tries to porte, can she still porte?
Well, but there's
after-
no
while the mirror ghost is
mirror
trapped?
ghost if she doesn't porte in front of a mirror in the first place. Like,
Yes, it deterrent.
we are relying on her being smart enough not to want to create a mirror ghost.
Yes, and so it is presumable she has to be unaware the mirror is there. But to Honorane's knowledge, Porte Sorcerer is not gifted with some magical knowledge that mirrors are in places. They don't like sense it like silver for a werewolf or something like that. So they're always usually particular to like check their surroundings and make sure they don't see anything. The mirror actually has to see her. Does that make sense? Like it can't be facing away from her.
Gav
So-
has question. It is if we use smaller mirror, does it summon smaller ghost? He's just like making like different sized. Like if you use hand mirror, does it summon hand sized ghost?
I was just going to mention a smaller mirror would be easier to hide.
I was literally thinking that we could wear one around our necks.
So I don't understand why we're trying to hide the mirror, because if she sees the mirror, she's not going to want to Porte.
If she sees the mirror,
That's
she
why
might
we
try
hide
to
it.
run.
Not
What-
she's in a cell.
No.
Okay, there's
Logan
steps
says,
to this.
You're saying that
The-
just the presence of the mirror will keep her from trying to use her Porte to flee at all. So there's no need to create two and to create a mirror ghost, because the mirror alone will keep her from traveling.
Right, and if she does travel, the mirror ghost will take care of her very quickly.
And to answer Gav's question, Henri has heard multiple kind of campfire stories of like a Porte sorcerer who is using like a compact and applying makeup, and without thinking tried to reach through their Porte hole, and then the arm of their mirror ghost came out and started throttling them through the compact mirror.
It's just like whatever space they can reach
It's
through.
a fully sized mirror ghost, but it's just
a
trapped behind
fist
small
coming out of the
entryway.
compact.
Punching up from the mirror.
I was really hoping that would be the answer.
That's funny.
Just an arm like blindly flailing around.
Well, I think the reason that we need to hide mirrors is to trap her initially in one of these houses. She has to come into the house willingly, where people have probably already gathered the merchandise ahead of her. So I don't know if her guards or enforcers or whatever know to check for mirrors, but they might.
I think she would I would be willing to be used as bait if we can get her.
No.
No, I don't know. No.
She would recognize
She
me.
would see it as an obvious trap. If you've escaped from
You
people who escape from slavers don't often get targeted twice unless there is a great deal of money on their heads.
You would need.
I was on the ship Revenge.
Depends on
You
the
would
price
need
on your
a
head, I
high
suppose.
price target. Someone willing to sell something highly valuable.
You'd have to be an Iron Prince, effectively, for them to even consider trying to kidnap you twice.
Correct.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It was an idea.
Runa has
No, it's-
seen from what
It's a
she's
good
seen
idea,
with-
but
what Runa has seen from like the slave trade of who's arrived on the other side is it's all been low end people who will not be messed. Like she's trading laborers, not high value targets. Because what is a high value target to the Crescents is a whole question.
she's gonna just like bulk shipping effectively. Just sending as many people through as possible to get as much money as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Logan says that I think is at least a plan for one of our problems. He says, and the other, he kind of gestures to the mirror. He says, I think might require some planning, will it not? The ship, provisions, time.
Yeah.
And he like covers his chest. He says, you have my word that whatever aid I can offer you, I will.
Bruna slowly just takes out one of the crystals and closes the mirror. She doesn't want to do it because it's the closest lead she has to getting her mom. But she does.
He says, I'm all for a rescue operation. He says, let's make sure we succeed now.
Yes.
And Odin speaks up, says,
Shit, I forgot he was here.
yeah, he's been kind of like quietly watching, and he has an eerie ability to just sort of like be overlooked when he wishes to be. Does that make
I
sense?
feel like Runa has known he has just been aware of him the whole time,
So is Arthur.
but just so
Rose is so
involved.
tempted to look at his damn arcana.
Yeah.
God.
Do it.
Fine.
2 crows.
Is 4
Um,
plus 5.
go ahead and make a roll. I will look him up in just a second. But he
38.
you're not gonna have any problem there. So says the lands of our people, our forefathers, or our tormentors. I'm not sure which. I feel I should be on that ship when you go.
I mean, I owe you a favor. Is that all right with everyone else?
He kind of smiles. He says, I was repaying a favor to Jack.
I know, but now I owe you a favor. That's how this works. Like, you did me a favor by doing someone else a favor, so now I owe you a favor. It's just a thing.
It's how
Take the
it works
gratitude
on
and
the
go with it,
streets,
man.
da. It works like this on the streets too, da.
He gives a smile at that. His arcana is the same as Arthur's.
Yeah.
Well, not
Fools
exactly
stand
the same,
together.
because it is the fool, but it is upright, meaning it's just the virtue.
Mhm.
And it is also, it's almost like a deck of fools. Does that make sense? With like one atop another, atop another, atop another. The one that is on the top that you can see is the fool.
Okay.
But like he is like a stacked deck of arcanas, of
Mhm.
which she sees the top.
Very interesting. Okay.
My brain is now just saying the phrase, great minds think alike, but fools rarely differ.
But fools live in a deck.
A deck of fools is just fun to think about too. But
How do I call upon you before we leave?
says, well,
I think we say
going
in the
to be here
Raven.
for a bit. Says, I'm going to send word to. Says some of the crew members of the Revenge have come to aid me in my own problems.
Runa just sits forward.
He says, I'll send word to them to come to free her.
Okay.
He says, I've heard a lot about you.
Like, the tears well up again, and there is the first, like, actual kind of smile. It's small, but it's something that we've gotten from her since she realized that she was in the shit. Like, her mom stuck in Valhalla, her mind on that.
He kind of rubs at his eye patch. Like for somebody who bears the name Odin and literally is supposed to be like the All Father, you know what I'm saying, possessed of the wisdom. Like there is one high king who is born to lead the Vestin every few generations when they're in their most dire straits, and he bears the name Odin when he does it, and yet he seems just remarkably humane and normal beyond the fact that he's Odin looking. Does that make sense? He kind of gives Arthur a nudge. He says, well, if you want to help me out, he says, when this is all over, he says, I could use help ending a civil war between my people.
That sounds so much easier than dealing with my mother. I am in.
He just laughs aloud at that. Like,
talk to mom? No. End civil war? Piece of cake.
So we are 15 seconds out, so this is a good place to drop the curtain.
I got a message that there is a character that wants to speak to Arthur.
Which character?
It's Rosa, and she wants to ask about Mob.
Do we want to open on that next time, or do we want to close on that?
Sure.
Because I know, because Discard, your health has been kind of up and down. If you want to do it here, I don't mind staying late, but I want to make sure it's okay with everybody else too.
Yeah. Is it okay to spend another 10-ish minutes?
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go.
It's fine with me.
All right.
Yeah.
I want to guarantee we can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Because she pulls out the idol and I know you've missed a lot since the last time you were here, but things have become dire and I don't know if I'm making the right decision.
Well, that's the nature of decisions, isn't it?
I don't think
Yeah.
he was there when she was made the offer, by the way. So,
No, he wasn't.
No, he disappeared. That's when he disappeared. That's when we last saw
Okay.
him. I can give up being a Strega by giving this idol back to Mob.
What are the pros and cons of this sort of decision?
I forget you haven't been around. This was in and out of character. I'm so sorry. You haven't met my grandmother like everyone else has, have you?
No. Is she anything like my mum? You know,
Possibly.
controlling, wants me to be a good little soldier and then
Shows
there forever. For all
her
time.
fate lashes. Wants me to carry on the family name and I think destroy the world.
Well, it's not that great anyways, but go on.
Yeah, that's my grandmother. She wants to. I don't know what she wants to do anymore because I've decided to stop talking to her, and I gave Honoree the journal.
Ah,
I can't believe Rosa almost said my journal.
well, I mean, my
And yes,
my
that
method
almost-
actually, my method would actually have been to ask your gran, but it sounds like she's dead. So I say,
Oh,
do
have
whatever
you,
makes
good
you
Sash.
happy. No, literally, there doesn't need to be a thing where you need to do a thing where you decide what is best based on these two things. What will make you the happiest overall at the end of the day?
Protecting those I care about.
Then do that. Just don't sacrifice yourself to do it because they will be so fucking pissed. But I'm just trying to say that the best
Is Mob-
thing that
d-
is Mob trustworthy? A
Yes.
fairy's word is law, and their oath is their power. Essentially, if they renege on this, they lose what's essentially them. It's what would you say is the biggest taboo of being a Strega? Just think about that. You don't need to say it out loud. But
I can read now.
that's your biggest taboo. Ooh, that just sounds like a really shit taboo. I thought it was going to be, and then he releases a bunch of things that Twitch won't allow me to say. So
Radio edit.
there's just like a long stream of bleeped out words that just make Rosa look horrified, I'm assuming. And he goes
No.
like those kind of things, the things that would make you no longer a human being at the end of the day. That's what that is. What that does.
I mean, if I end up becoming unraveled,
No idea what that means. But still.
dying due to fate lashes.
Oh. I mean, we all die for any reason, number of reasons, but still, just do what will make you the happiest and will make other people.
I was hoping you'd understand more of the Fae stuff, but all right.
No,
So
I
she's
understand the face
trustworthy
stuff.
at least.
She's trustworthy enough. Enough is the key word. Listen to me very carefully. You do this one deal with them, this sort of thing, you're kind of stuck with them for life. But as long as you know what you're giving up and what they are giving to you, as long as you understand both sides of the deal fully and you've read the fine print, there's always fine print. As long as you understand all that and you're fine doing that, there's no issues. but never, ever, ever buy the undercoating. No. So,
What?
Car joke.
the card
Yeah,
joke.
that went way over my head.
No, it's never trust them beyond what you can see. And even then, don't trust what you see. Just don't really trust them. It's complicated. Fae people are very complicated.
Yeah, she's just walking away at that point. She's like, nope, he's not making this any easier. That's not what I wanted at all. Why did you?
Did you really expect me to?
You truly are useless, Arthur Wolf.
Damn.
Poor little man.
And I want to, like, Odin looks at Rosa as she's like walking away. He says, "There are no easy answers."
See that guy? He's come out. He understands.
This is not something I take lightly. And now that I know that the unraveled are hurting something, protecting all of us, I know even less which to choose.
No one else can tell you what to choose, Rosa.
I'm trying to understand all sides of this. I don't know anything about Avalon. I know.
Oh well, the very basis of everything is that you can't understand anything. You can never understand the decisions, the repercussions your decision will have in the future. You can only do what's best for you now.
And what's
let the
best for
chips
your
fall as they do.
future?
Yeah, but you never really know what's going to happen with the future. You can just hope.
She's meeting Rosa's eyes when she says what's best for the future. Rosa knows what she means.
Odin speaks softly, and there's like a way that he speaks that like Logan and everybody's kind of like paying attention, and he says, "I have been called to lead the Vestin in times of war again and again, sometimes with themselves, sometimes with others. Sometimes the path has been clear, but in the next life I have seen the damage that my choices wrought. Things I never suspected at the time." Says, "The choice you are making is the choice to pick a side in a war. There are consequences of not picking. There are consequences of any side that you might pick. And there are consequences that you will never foresee to any choice that you make." He says, so while his answer is glib, do what makes you happy, the sentiment behind it is not. For all that you can see fate, you cannot truly control it.
My worry is if I fail as a Strega, I may succeed as an Unraveled.
Then it seems choice is simple. Do what is needed to not become unraveled, if that is your fear. And he doesn't say that with any judgment.
I will say that one of these choices seems to take you away from Grandma. Old Gam Gam seems to be having more and more influence over you as time goes on, despite your best efforts. And I'm not into gilfs. But whatever you choose, we're here with you. I'm here with you. And I trust your judgment.
Yeah, she's gonna put it away.
Now let's all go have a drink. I think we could really all use a drink at this point.
My favorite words.
Vino, por favor.
And see.
And we'll cut the curtain there. Thank you guys for hanging out a little bit longer. Thank you guys for gaming tonight. I missed you all last week. But I was also very glad for the break, and I hope you all got to do something fun over it. So, let's see. Let's do real quick. I want 2 nominations for role playing.
Arthur.
Arthur.
Runa.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, Runa being laser focused on her family and her mom really hit hard, and like the disappointment of like we can't go get her right now.
Yeah. I also really like Honorines. You know what? Even though I already scolded my sister about playing with portals, I'm just going to throw water on this one and walk through.
I did laugh at.
I felt deserved some recognition there.
Do as I
Um,
say,
it's
not
also
as I
pretty-
do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Does
I
that
actually
fall
had
under
to-
Teacher screamed at me
overzealous?
while he was-
because
Very-
that,
very
because that
similar.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you do have overzealous. There was so here's what I want to do. I want to give Runa and Arthur are going to get the RP rewards for role playing. Also, the line about you're chewing on your smile. It was
I
mentioned
loved
before
that.
that
That's
absolutely
so
needs to be
good.
nominated for Drama Dice. I'm going to do that as well. And I'm going to
Thank
give
you.
another Drama Die to Honorine for the we're just powering through. Stepping through the strange arcane portal and hoping it doesn't, like suck all the moisture out of our body. Or something fun.
And then going, you know what? That one worked. Let's try this one.
Because I am wanting to be a bit more generous with like the drama dice and the experience and stuff as we're getting further along in our story, because stuff's getting more expensive, and if you haven't noticed, the stakes are kind of high. So
Arthur's ready to punch something in the face. He's maxed out his brawn.
Nice.
So we'll do that. I'm going to give you guys 4 experience for tonight. You have inadvertently tipped off the Crescent Empire that their portals might be working again, which I'm sure will bear no consequences on the future.
Yav's gonna be moving to the sewers again. Oh, portal's open. Wait for it. Wait for it.
And Syndra did say it right. Happy birthday to Ruth. Happy birthday to Bison.
Happy birthday,
It was-
Kevin, if you watch this.
He I don't know if you guys have seen, but he already responded to the singing. So
Nice.
Spectacular.
he was deeply appreciative of our chaos.
That was magnificently awful, is what we were referred to as.
that is
shall
our
be
goal.
haunted by it for the rest of my life. High praise.
All right. So let me just pull up my closing remarks. I'll get us out of here. Thank you everyone for watching us on YouTube or live on Twitch. Audience participation always means the world to us. If you're on YouTube, smash the like, hit the subscribe, and make a comment in the down below. Here at Dirty 20, we always sign out with the same call to action. Be nice. Be kind when you have the spoons, but when you're not, be nice. Be nice to strangers, be nice to family, be nice to your loved ones, and be nice to yourself. Thank you for coming on this journey with us, and we will see you next Sunday. So.
No.
Bye.